I really want to start.
I hate puppies.
Smoking a pipe. I drove by the place today and was like, I need to swing by.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
Should make pipe smoking part of this podcast. Like, it'd be a good ritual to do while we're doing it, you know?
I'm not opposed to that. You know, I got multiple pipes over there.
Do you have the everything? Do you have the tobacco and everything, or no?
Yeah, and lighters.
The tobacco ain't gone bad?
Oh, I didn't say that. I said I had tobacco.
Let's welcome everybody.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking this weekend. I think I've got a good one.
Nice.
I think I've got
excited.
a good one. Yeah. Founders has yet another all day. I'll just bring that up now.
How do we feel about that?
I'm sure we could talk about that in 40 minutes, but
No, but let's talk about that now.
Okay, I'm down.
Not like
Founders in general?
No. When Voodoo Ranger does Voodoo Ranger, is that the brand or is that the beer?
New Belgian, makes the Voodoo
but
Ranger
they make
series.
like 18 versions of it, right? And that's what Founders is doing with all day. And to me, as a consumer, it's slightly confusing, right? Like somebody's like, "Hey, you want an all day?" You're like, "Yeah."
But an all day should be an all day IPA.
That's the original, right?
Yes.
But aren't there like a ton now? So like you could get crossed up easily.
Well, remember how good that all day vacay, that won a damn deli.
Yes.
That was a tasty treat. That was like the...
Yeah, but I don't like when when there's literally like so many versions of everything.
I mean, it's starting to get a little watered down. I think there are now, based on what I saw, I can't remember what the fourth one is, but there are 4 all days that I'm aware of now.
Oh, that's all?
Founders.
I thought there might have been more.
That I'm aware of.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that they don't exist.
There's probably some other ones out there.
Yeah, the all day vacay is fantastic. The all day IPA is fantastic. I can't remember what the other one is, and then we'll find out the wild card all day.
Well, it's just you and me tonight. We're doing the old school 2-man weave, give and go.
Yeah.
You know, we got some finals basketball on behind us.
Which I'm excited about.
I mean, I'll follow, but I don't really care to watch much of it. But like most of the country outside of Denver and Miami, I think.
Well, I think there's a huge segment of the population that's Jimmy Butler fans. Not to talk too much sports, but like Jimmy Butler is the man.
I'm a huge fan.
I mean, the guy is just work ethic personified. And I think people respect that.
Did you hear the crazy stat that Kevin Love is 5 for 5? When he makes the playoffs, he makes the finals. That's a crazy stat. Yeah.
Even when he's a bench player?
No matter what team he's on, every team he's been on that's made it in the playoffs has made it to the finals.
I'll be damned. Okay. So Kevin Love's the X Factor, but he doesn't always win them.
No, but he's like, you know, the Steve Kerr or Big Shot Bob. Like, he just seems to be there, right?
I guess so. Steve Kerr, man.
He won them all.
Yeah, Steve Kerr's he's the real deal.
Also,
he didn't win them all, but
I also heard a stat that like Pat Riley has been either a player, executive, or a coach in 25% of all the finals ever
since he like got into the league.
I think he was like playing even before the finals, so like they've been going on that long.
Damn. Okay, I'm not familiar with this. So he's the Yankees.
Yeah,
Pat Riley's
pretty
the
much.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Well done, Pat Riley.
I know all this because I listened to Levitard.
I figure this isn't just stuff coming out of your head.
No.
You've been sitting back reading the almanac like Biff from Back to the Future.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're just there's a timely reference for you, Biff from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
He's technically in 1. Well, I guess he gets his hands on it, right? In 1, he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all the Back to the Future. Yeah. I guess. Good job, Biff.
Are they going to make a 4th one of those?
Ooh, there's so many jokes. No, I don't see how you can.
Well, obviously you can't do it with Michael J.
Image stabilization.
They make shaky cams, steady cams.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I like to image stabilization.
Well, you know there's a 5th indie that I guarantee 100% will be hot garbage.
Dude, I just went to the theater the other day and I got to watch the preview for it, and I'm like, Indy is so fucking old.
He is literally 80 years old.
Like I can't believe that he's kicking people's asses and cracking out his whip. Like
no, swinging from shit, jumping on. Like, no, dude.
If it was Indy and he was sitting his ass on the couch and he was just flying drones into areas and like blowing shit up, I'd be like, that makes sense.
How high is your bar that we're standing next to? 3.5 feet?
4 feet tall, maybe?
Okay. Let's say 4. We'll round up.
Yeah.
If you stood on top of this bar, and would you feel safe just easily jumping off of it?
I mean, I know what you're getting at. Like I would be. You
would do it.
I would do it.
I know you would do it.
Yes.
But like there would be a fear
that something would snap.
Or like, for me, not snap, but like all I can think of is if I had to jump off this bar right now, like the pain that my knees and ankles and muscles would be in the next 2 days would be excruciating.
But not for Indy, you see.
Yeah, when he's twice my age.
And he's a retired professor.
Yeah.
So, he's kept himself in shape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in his defense, he looks to be in fine shape, but like, you age, dude. Like, you can, like.
But Harrison Ford, didn't he, like, just recently, hasn't he, like, wrecked multiple planes? He is built. So, he is built differently.
He's definitely built differently, but like, how old's your father?
77?
Yeah, my dad just turned 75, and like, I can't imagine them doing those sort of things.
Now I kind of want to look it up. How many planes has Harrison Ford wrecked?
How many do you need to wreck before it's a problem? I mean, 1.
Harrison Ford plane wrecks, mishaps and rescues. Okay.
You could be here a minute, dude.
Oh, shit. It appears that it may be. So he's, all right, I got to hear all this bullshit. He received his pilot's license at age 53. He's been flying all kind of vintage planes. In 99, he had an emergency landing in a riverbed.
Nice.
So, but he made it. He was
obviously.
He was piloting a helicopter when he landed in a dry riverbed.
You saw Indy 4, right?
Yes.
I mean, how awful was that?
He was blown off a runway in 2000 when he was flying a 6-seater plane.
That was 1 year after the last accident you just mentioned.
Yep, minor damage, but he recuperated in Lincoln overnight. 2001, Harrison Ford found and rescued a 13-year-old. Well, he found and rescued a Boy Scout in Yellowstone who'd been missing for 19 hours, and he went out and flew and went and found him.
That's some real-life Indy shit.
Okay, so there's some Indy shit. In 2015, he crash landed on a golf course in a World War II era 2-seater.
I thought you were exaggerating when you said he had multiple.
No. This dude wrecks planes, man. He emerged from the wreckage with a broken arm and head injuries.
How does he get insurance?
Stretcher. I don't know. But they said that it was a beautifully executed emergency landed.
You think now he's like, yeah, I need he's on the phone. He's like, yeah, I need plane insurance. What's your name, sir? Marison.
Marison Horde.
Horde?
Yeah. In 2017, he was in the California wildfires flying and trying to save people and help them out. And, oh, wait. Nope. Looks like he volunteered to help. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, Indiana Jones shows up to save you, or Han Solo.
Now I'm starting to believe it's bullshit.
2017, he landed on a taxiway instead of a runway. Just totally fucked up and went to the wrong place. Narrowly missing an American Airlines 737, which had 100 passengers in it. And it's got horrifying footage to include. He said, I'm a schmuck who landed on the taxiway via the radio.
Wow.
In 2020,
wouldn't a normal person have their license revoked for something like that, I would think?
Apparently not, because in 2020, when he was 77 years old and still flying, he accidentally went across an airport. The tower instructed him to go one way and wait for a crash or wait for a craft, and he screwed up and made a touch-and-go landing because Ford went across the wrong way, and the plane had to come down and take off. So he got reamed out, but no further. So yeah, Harrison Ford's not a good pilot. But if you can do all those things, I mean, maybe he still has a little Indiana left in him.
Maybe he's believing he's Indiana now. You know,
or Han Solo sounds more like it.
Yeah.
Because Indiana never really flew.
No.
But Han Solo could fly. Man, could he fly.
Kind of like Cruise is kind of taking on like his character from Mission Impossible. Like he thinks he's, you know, whatever that dude's name is.
Yeah, but Cruise actually does all that shit.
Well, I know. But like, he's like faking it till he makes it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he does all the stunts, right? But like, these are stunts where like, he's strapped to the plane, so it's ballsy that he's like hanging off side, but he's not hanging off the side of it.
It's ballsy he's out there, but it's not like he's not just standing on the plane.
Well, that's like I watched like a 10-minute video of his stunt coming up in the new Mission Impossible, where he like base jumps a motorcycle off of a cliff and then parachutes. I'm like, people have done that before. I've seen that. That's not like crazy.
If those people aren't Tom Cruise, they're like just a dude who like.
So that shows you anyone can do it.
I guess that's true. I mean, any drunk redneck can
exactly
throw a motorcycle off a bridge.
And like, think about it. Like, those people just do it on a dare.
Yeah,
like,
hold my beer.
Hey, you got that old dirt bike over there. You got a parachute. Let's go. Like,
let's do it.
He's planning it out for 6 months. You know, has the best stunt team and coordinator in the world.
Eating properly, getting the body ready, taking his peptides.
Test run. Yeah.
Doing all his stuff.
Dude, peptides. I forgot about that word.
I can't forget.
Have you started?
Yes.
And has
it
it been too soon? Or, I mean,
I don't know yet, man. It's like, so I'm day 11 today's day 11.
Okay.
Taking the peptides. I've got a 1 month supply.
Okay.
So I'm taking those, and I can tell you, I'm actually more of a believer in your wife's theory that the drinking is causing tremendous inflammation in my body, because I noticed that during the week I get a little better.
Yeah.
And then I do the podcast and then I start feeling a little worse. So I do think there's something to that. I can tell you this. Remember when you were saying that like mind plays a big part into it?
And that's why, like, I think for you will air quotes see results in your peptides.
In the first 24 hours, I saw tremendous results. Tremendous.
That's what
results.
I love about you. Like, you can will that into yourself. Like, you can do that.
Okay.
I'm the skeptic that would be like, this shit's never going to work.
So the first 24 hours, I was like, holy shit. Shoulders feeling better.
Lifting cars off babies.
Better. Yeah, like
punching through
great.
brick walls.
By the 48th hour, I was like, my arms are killing me. Nothing feels better. I did have a 24-hour, though, true placebo, like, I'm back, baby. This stuff's amazing. 48 hours to day 10.
Nothing.
Back
to normal?
Yeah, just shooting pains. Can barely do stuff. So, no, I can't report any.
So what's the sales pitch? Is it you need to take them for 3 months, for 6 months, for 4 years? Like, what's the
official, like what docs will tell you that, you know, a month you should probably start to feel something. So but then there's other people, like I go in these Reddit forums and they're like within a week, you know, like I knew I was healing. I was back. I am moving my arm today on day 11 is the first time that like I can move that's painful moving my arm up, but it's not.
You're moving your arm
the
up
chicken dance.
Yeah, but halfway you're just going to shoulder height with your elbow.
Yeah, I can't. This all hurts, but which is like raising your hand in class.
Yeah.
But for the first time, I am today feeling maybe something's better, but I also haven't had a drink in days.
Yes.
Which goes right along with your wife's theory. And she's, you know, she's in the industry, so she would know.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a freaking medical license to do.
Yeah, but in her defense, like, she just knows what, I mean, that's just common knowledge. We just lie to ourselves, right? Like,
yeah, sure.
I mean,
the drinking has no ill effects.
You drink less, eat better, move more. Like, oh my God, I feel better and I'm losing weight.
Crazy.
I didn't even buy a book or take a class or, you know, like.
It's fairly obvious stuff.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I can't report that it was a miracle cure within the first, 11 days.
Well, I hope it works for you, whether it's placebo or whether it's a real science, because
I think I'm past the
I don't
point.
like anyone being in pain. That's no fun.
I can't think that if it works at this point that it's placebo, because I've had days where the pain has been so excruciating I can hardly sleep. So I'm like, it's not fixing.
Are days 2 through 11 better than pre-peptides? No. Okay, so it is. No. So when you're saying it's working, you may be getting like 10% better, 20% better. You're not 100%.
But I have days where I feel better, and then I have days where I regress horribly. Like last night I was waking up in pain and I was just like, it hurts.
So maybe it's just like,
but I'm not giving up. I'm
slowly-
still taking it. You know, I'm still doing it.
you're going to take the whole month.
But like I talked to my buddy and he's like, man, maybe we need to up your dosage. He's like, you know, maybe you need to take it differently. Like there's
Suppository.
There's clearly, well, this, what I haven't is it's shots.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. This is like Ozempic. Like I'm having to take shot, but I'm refusing to do it like locally. I'm like, I'll take the spot that has the most fat and just go.
Yeah. So you're sticking your ass with it.
Cause it doesn't hurt. I'll do
Yeah.
the stomach, the love handle. It's kind of where, and then it was going back and forth.
You just like pinch it and
Yeah, but he's like, maybe you need to get up like in that shoulder. And I'm like, there's no fat. Shoulder's bone and muscle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's no fat. And he's like, well, you know, you just put the needle in a little. I'm like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
And I certainly can't do that.
Yeah.
Like get to my shoulder.
and your wife's not going to do it.
She's helped me do like the back of my arm to get it close. So on the weekends, I've done that. But it's the whole thing is, it's not enjoyable.
No.
I'm trying to knock this out. But like elbows, how do you even get to elbows? Like you can't.
I'd be hard pressed to give my health would have to be like, my life would have to be in line if I'm going to do a daily shot of something. Like I'd be real hard pressed to be like, I want to lose weight or like any of these things.
Yeah.
Like I just, the shots, and I don't mind taking shots, and I
it
don't
was a
mind being
bridge.
stuck. I just don't want to have to do it myself.
I've avoided, you know, like when I was in college, I remember like everyone was doing steroids and I was like, shots? I mean, no.
Yeah.
No steroids. Didn't really have a lot to do with the fact that I didn't want to be huge.
Yeah.
It was like, probably rather not do shots.
Well, it just sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's something you have to think about. You can't just go do it.
You can't just grab the pill bottle and throw it in your overnight bag.
No. So like I've been on the road for work and
Yeah.
it's like right before you leave, shot, and then you hope you're back within 24 hours. And it's
because you got to keep, like, if you miss a day, that'd be bad, right?
I assume. And it's got to stay refrigerated, so it's not like I can look. Plus, I don't want to be riding like my carry-on, like have a needle and ice pack or something. Fuck that. It's just not for me. So I'm just trying to figure it out, man. But it's been 11 days, and it's not a game changer.
Well, let's wait.
No, I'm not.
Give us another 2-week update.
Yeah, I'm not passing judgment yet, but I'm a third of the way through, and I'm like, it hurts.
Yeah.
So, but I told y'all I wouldn't lie about it. Like I would tell you the truth, and look, this is my boy's company. It's like I want it to work bad.
Yeah.
I want to be like, oh shit, I'm healed. But in his defense, he's like, look, you know, this stuff works for most people. Most of the forums I go to, most people it works for.
Maybe he needs to sponsor us.
Well, I think he's going to want to see how this goes. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying.
Look, if it works, then I will gladly be an advocate, and he can sponsor us.
I mean, if he hits you up day 15 and says, "I'll give you a sponsorship for the next,"
no, my arms will feel a lot better. My arms will feel a lot better.
We can't be bought. I mean, no one ever attempts to buy us, so we can easily be bought.
I'm not arguing that I can't be bought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just hook it up. I'll I'm willing to sell that. I'm an expert.
Exactly.
But day 11, nah, man.
Not yet.
Nah.
We're still holding out hope.
But like I said, my shoulder today feels good. Now, with that lack of drinking, I don't know.
Could be both.
Yeah, but it felt good today. So,
well, that's good.
We'll report back. I'll give everyone an update next week. That'll officially be 7 more days. And by that point, I'm hoping I'm feeling something. But right now, it's just a gigantic pain in my ass. Kids catch me shooting up in the kitchen. It's not a good look.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that.
They haven't seen it yet. I've tried to be like real. Because they're going to be like, what the hell is that? But granted, they have also seen us shoot up a diabetic cat every single day.
That's true.
So they're familiar with it.
Yeah.
I don't think their head would go to dad's a junkie.
Just don't, have the
needles laying out.
Yeah, and the rubber band around your bicep,
Yeah, don't do that.
Check. It's my inner elbow that's really sore. That's why
so sore.
It's in between my toes that are like really bothering me.
Today my toes are killing me, man. And it's got this plantar fasciitis.
Mm-hmm.
Got to work through it. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any miracle cures yet, but we're working.
I mean, if there's one thing we know the drug company can do is work to find a miracle cure.
That's the beauty of this is not the drug companies. You know what I mean? Like, Even the drug companies are like, don't do that. We have Oxy.
Yeah.
Take Oxy. You're not going to feel it.
They're not a pharmaceutical company, but they're doing a version of pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah. As soon as the FDA approves everything, they'll be like, we're a drug company.
Yeah.
Right now, they get to play the whole, you think Big Pharma's got your back?
Yeah.
As soon as the FDA approves it, they're going to be like, Big Pharma's got your back.
We always have.
This is what we do.
Come to us, love us.
Come on, what, you think penicillin wasn't a great thing? Big Pharma.
Yeah, and then like your innocent peptide company will be like doing commercials that are like, we can fix your shoulder. Side effects may include shitting your innards out and puking nonstop for 4 days straight, but your shoulder will be fine.
I haven't noticed any side effects.
Yeah.
So that's been good. That was like, I didn't take it when I went away on my anniversary weekend. Like I had it.
Yeah, you were worried.
But I was like, I ain't taking this because what if there are side effects? Like what if all of a sudden I don't enjoy anything?
I saw a commercial for a drug the other day for what I can only assume is one of the smallest populations out there. It was for people that have eyeballs that bulge out of their
head.
head
Yeah, I've
slightly.
seen that one.
I'm like, how many people in your entire life have you seen that you're like, holy fuck, your eyeballs are really jutting out of your head right now?
I got one friend.
Thank you.
I got one friend. And kind of his trademark look. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Anthony Davis has the unibrow and he's like, yeah, I'm just going to run with that.
Yeah.
And after a while, you're like, cool, man, that's your signature look. And if you can own it, and this dude owns it, like that's just his look and he looks good.
Yeah.
Like women like him. So,
but like,
imagine he starts taking his wife's like, I am not attracted to you anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Your eyes don't have that pop.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was into.
Well, I mean, what percentage of a point is out there that you need to run a commercial for that stuff? Then, of course, the side effects were insane. I didn't write them down, but I should have because it was like, we'll fix your eyeball bulge, but you'll have nosebleeds for fucking a week straight. Like, it's just like, it always seems like the side effects are worse than whatever you're trying to cure.
I'd like to figure out how the marketing team is like, turns out that people with bulging eyeballs love to watch Real Housewives.
Yeah.
That's where you need to put your eye. Like, how do you even...
There's got to be one, right? Like,
there's some
reruns of Friends are huge in the bulging eyeball community.
Yeah, that community index is higher watching reruns of Friends.
Well, you're in the field, they can track all that stuff, right? Like, there's got to be a version
that's why,
of it.
like, that's why my head went there. I was like, how would I even say they love college lacrosse? You got to play it during college lacrosse. That is like the bulging eye sport.
I'm not quick enough. I'm trying to think of like a cartoon or something where like a character has like the wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Large Mars.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Old one. God, that shit traumatized me as a kid.
You can go right back to the old Indiana Jones, the original one. The Nazi gets all burned up,
when
his eyes
face
come
melts.
out.
Yeah,
there you go. Show it during that because that's probably really sensitive. Actually, that's not bad. Like
trauma.
Yeah, they watch that and go, God, I hope my eye doesn't fall out. And it's like, oh, I should take I Be Gone.
And they always have some cutie like name that like kind of goes off whatever the medical name is. You know. Then they make a ditty out of it. You're like, Jesus.
Yeah, now I got that song stuck in my head. I don't even have bulging eyes.
These are first world problems.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Quite literally. In other countries, you're like, I'm just glad I was born with arms.
Other countries are like, you guys have eyes?
Yeah. Wish I had bulging eyes. Yeah. It'd be fantastic. You'd probably get more ass. You're walking around, you're like, oh no, not only do I have eyes, look at the size of my fucking eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
It's kind of a weird flex.
We have...
Literally.
Yeah, like... Yeah. You're always staring at me.
Yeah.
It's kind of my thing.
No matter where I go, I feel like this guy's eyes are following me.
Like a creepy painting in a haunted house.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've been taking these shots and now my eyes don't follow. Well, one of my eyes does.
Ooh, that would be worse, right?
Yeah, if only one eye
gets fixed.
Yeah, and the other one's
makes
still bulging.
The other one look even worse.
Yeah, you're better off with dual bulges.
Yeah, everything symmetry. It's all about symmetry.
Symmetry's great.
Yeah.
Like if you got something wrong, just at least have it be symmetrical.
Yeah, like you're better off having no ears than one ear.
Oh, absolutely.
Like from a look standpoint, like
clearly. Yeah, it's just not a good setup. Even short arms. Like little.
Yeah, like if you had two short T-Rex arms,
You're like, yeah, this is what I got.
But if you got one like really long one and one tiny one, you're like,
kind of stands out a little more.
Yeah.
It's very
Makes
true.
sense. Funny. And what's weird too about that is like how asymmetrical all of our faces are, but we don't really even notice it.
I notice it on me because my left eye just doesn't want to play. I don't understand.
Again,
it.
back to the drinking.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm 12 beers away from my left eye going to sleep. My right eye being fucking really alert to compensate.
I forgot. Did something happen? Or has that just always been your thing?
No, it's just always, even when I smile, like my left eye goes down a little.
You didn't
like great.
Get hit or anything?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. I was drunk. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but that's always my tell. Like, my wife knows it because I have about a 10-minute window where my left eye shuts, but I'm still lucid. Mm-hmm. And she'll be like, "Hey, your left eye just shut," and I've learned to just accept that for what it is.
Yeah.
Just like your left eye is shut. We need to go. You don't have time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Grab your cooler. We're leaving. And I just have to be like, all right. And
you're always good though. Like when I'm out with you, you're always good at maintaining. Like the only time I've ever seen that is in a controlled environment, like or at a house for like a bachelor party or something. So it's like, okay, no damage can happen here. Like we're not out somewhere.
I don't know. My ego.
Well,
my ego gets damaged.
No, but like when we're out at a bar or something late night, you're pretty good about.
You know why? Because I have one rule. No shots.
Yeah.
It's a really good rule that I didn't adopt until much later in life. But I realized that
I had that rule forever. And then for a long time, I did a no liquor game. Like, not even liquor.
I can do mixed drinks. That's perfectly fine. It'll get me there faster, which is not always a good thing. But it's shots, man. Every story where... Like every story that I tell that's like funny, I'm like, all right, so we're out drinking beers. Those stories are funny. Every story that's not funny is someone like, so Brendan's taking shots, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know where this is going.
Yeah, every wild story is like, so we're out drinking beer, and then Billy brings over a round of shots. And then it's like,
boom.
You'll never imagine this. You'll never believe this, but shit went sideways right after that.
Yeah. Then I shit in my pants.
And went blind.
Knocked out the bar, knocked out somebody. And then his boys beat the shit out of me. And I woke up covered in shit.
Because you know how it tends to work with the shots? It's never like one round of shots. Like the initial round gets everybody going. Like then another round comes.
Yeah. And then people feel like, well, I owe.
Yes, that's the worst. When you're like, shit, you guys just bought a round. I owe everybody a round.
Yep. My move is I just go buy everybody Guinness.
Yeah.
Slows them down real quick.
Uh-huh.
That's the move. Come back and be like, you bought shots. I spent just as much.
Yeah.
You all have Guinness. And then half the people bitch, half the people are happy. But everybody slows it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to these days. But it used to be, oh yeah? Oh yeah? How about lukewarm whiskey?
Yeah. No, thank you.
Nah. Not pleased with it. It's not.
No.
All stories start with shots, end with oops.
Yeah. Mistakes and regret.
Yep. Except for peptides. Those have been going.
Shots of peptides are different.
Oh yeah. We didn't take any shots the other night when we went out.
We did not.
We had a crazy little weekend last week.
Yeah, man. That was we actually saw each other multiple times, which I don't remember. I mean, it was football season last time that happened.
Yeah, it's usually we get together do the podcast.
Yeah, and then we get together and do the podcast.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But then we got together and we went out to do a little, my favorite bar. You finally got to go to my favorite bar. We did the podcast,
and then the next night we went out a little later because I had baseball, of course, and picked you in the Duke Up. Yeah. And we went to the bar. We mentioned it on the air about the Get Tight Lounge and going to see this show. And
so now you've seen it, though. Like, did I oversell that place?
No, because I knew exactly where it was, but I didn't. Because I thought you kept saying it was outside and there was a yard next to it. But, and I mean, again, my fraternity house and the place I lived was directly across the street. So I was like,
there's nothing there.
Where he's talking about where there's an empty lot, that's still a parking lot. What's he talking about? And it's like 2 buildings over. You're like, oh, it's here. Well, that little outdoor space was never there, but that bar has been there since I was in college. When I was in college, it was called the City Cafe.
So that was a bar.
Yeah, it was called the City Cafe.
Okay.
And we called it lovingly the Shitty Cafe. It
still is.
And then it was the Roxy, which still has Roxy on the window. Had a Roxy like cafe sticker on it.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes it harder to find.
Yeah. Weird. And then but then you went in through the front, right? And it was just a little shotgun style.
Yeah, see, I don't even
Cafe.
go through the sun. I cut down that little 4-foot wide corridor.
Yeah,
and then boom, there's a yard.
So there's an alley between the two buildings, and then like an awesome outdoor space that's like lightly graveled and got the triangular, sunshades up. Of course, we were there when it was dark, but it was just nestled in there with a dope looking it looked like a semi trailer stage that was like turned sideways and a big rectangle cut out of it.
It's a yard party.
Yeah.
It's like basically going to any backyard party.
And your parents showed up there.
Parents were there.
That was awesome.
That was wild. They're standing outside and it's like everybody outside is just smoking and like getting tattoos in the street. It's kind of like the vibe. And they're just standing there in their like preppy clothes.
Yeah.
And I was like, follow me. Like we just pushed through all the smokers and all of a sudden, boom, we're in a backyard.
That was probably the most eclectic group of people I have ever seen in any
There wasn't
facility.
anybody not represented.
Yes.
Like from sexual preference to race to everything, from size,
height, weight.
Yeah. No, like everything was represented. It was pretty dope.
People kept coming in that looked like they were like probably regulars, but with the rings and the tattoos and the weird dress and the weird hairstyles. And I'm like,
I think I saw a fucking Sherpa in there. I'm not kidding. Like I looked over and I'm like, this dude is in from like
the Himalayas.
Yeah, like he literally just
came over from Nepal.
He's in his Sherpa gear.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. It's a damn Sherpa here.
But everybody I kept seeing come in, I was like, oh, these people don't know this band. They're just like,
they were singing along.
Dude, I thought they just like happened upon it. Like, oh, I was going to be here on Thursday night anyway. But it seemed like everybody knew who the band was.
Yeah, it was. And the band is like a true country western band, like old school. And that kid's.
But they were like super, for lack of better terms, woke. Like the lead singer's like.
Didn't make any sense either because you look at him and you go, this dude, he's got his mullet and he's got his look.
He literally has like shorter hair than I do on the top of his head. And then a long, stringy, curly mullet down the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And like.
Looks like redneck trash. Like
he's
the whole band.
130 pounds wet.
Yeah.
Tall and lanky. He's got 4 guys that can play the hell of their instruments and sing. 2 of them were in bib overalls.
Yep.
And he's like the lead singer. What was his name? Dylan Earl.
That's right.
He's like, we don't give a shit what's in your pants, and so long as you don't give a shit what's in our pants, man. Like, do whatever you want. We don't care. Black Lives Matter. We don't give a shit. Like, I mean, he was like, gay pride. Like, he was like, he was putting it all out there.
But he didn't, if you had stereotyped him.
Oh, you would have been 100% wrong.
Like,
you would have been 100% wrong.
This dude's been shooting Bud Lights.
Yes.
Like, because he ain't drinking that shit.
Yep.
Like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
And he's singing these country songs that sound country as all get out that are extremely woke. And I'm like, this is fantastic. Like, that
and
guy
extremely,
rules.
like, musically gifted.
Yeah. No, they were fantastic. And it brought out the most eclectic damn crowd of country music listeners you could ever imagine.
Yeah. And people were, like, singing along and dancing and having a grand old time.
The best was when those 2 giant tattooed guys.
Yeah.
They come out and they have like a swing off with 2 other giant tattooed women and like they're dancing, doing all this. And then they finish it up. And then what do? Those 2 big tattooed guys started dancing with each other and swinging each other around. I was like, yeah, that's about right. That's a Dylan Earl show right there in a nutshell. And then he came out of the stage, came out into the gravel pits.
Oh yeah,
And just laid down while singing a Merle Haggard song.
yeah. His last song, like he like poured it all out, was laying on the ground wailing away.
I was like, what the hell is going on here? The Get Tight Lounge brings the most random acts. And then I went to Friday Cheers the next night, and there was this gal, Cassidy, who was, I can't remember that, but Cassidy was singing. And she's this like amazing R&B, like kind of soulful singer. And I'm looking up there and I was like, she was at the Get Tight Lounge last night.
No shit.
Yeah, she had been hanging out there, checking out the country band. So like yet another example of like,
You didn't tell me that.
yeah, saw her the next night up on stage singing at Friday Cheers. She was like the Richmond act.
Dude, don't. Was she an opener? Because we got there late. Did we miss was she one of the openers for Dylan Earl?
So she had actually played the night before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she had come back to see Dylan Earl and then was performing the following night.
Let's not skip past one of the coolest freaking merch tables I'd ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, because I saw what you bought.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me vinyl's dead.
Vinyl should never have come back.
It's the worst.
It's
of course,
the
it should.
worst.
That's why it's the best.
It's literally the worst. It's the heaviest, bulkiest, worst way to listen to music.
No, but it's
ever.
fragile.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great. You can scratch it, you can ruin it. That's awesome.
Oh, and it takes up a lot of space.
A ton.
Yeah.
And literally every time you play it, it degrades.
Yes.
So it gets worse over time.
Just what I'm looking for.
So we're on the same page.
But you can skip around really. Oh, wait. No, you can't skip around.
No.
So
But you bought a damn...
I bought a cassette. He had all of his albums on cassette.
You were so fucking proud. This dude comes walking back across and he's like, look what I got. And he holds up a Dylan Earl cassette tape. And I'm like, what are you going to do with the cassette tape? And he's like, my car, the old car that I drive, it has a cassette deck, and I don't have any tapes.
Yeah.
So I figured I need a tape. Did he sign it?
Yeah, he autographed it. He came out. We talked to him. You didn't talk to him. You didn't fanboy out. But like,
no, I tried to play it cool.
Your dad like went over to him and was like rattling off all these songs, and he was like, "Man, I love that you knew that, man. That's awesome." He signed. Your dad bought a CD, I think, and he signed it.
My dad and I have a little trick. And this is like something I've learned over the years. And basically, if you know anything, you just lead with it. So earlier that day, my dad had been over here and he was like, who are you going to see tonight? And I was like, Dylan Earl. And he's like, all right, well, play something of his. I was like, all right. So he and I are looking through and he goes, oh, he covers Clay Pigeons. I know that song. So I played Clay Pigeons for him.
I do not know that song.
So he hears that song. And then when my dad rolls up, he's like, hey, man, he's like, great show tonight. And then he leads with, just wanted to say, really excited that you do such a great and different version of Clay Pigeons. And then what he knew was who wrote it originally, who covered it and made it famous, and then Dylan Earl. So he led with that. And then Dylan Earl.
Your dad knew that the famous version wasn't the original. You were like, your version's great. It was better than famous person who didn't do as good a job as original person. And then Dylan Earl was like, oh my God, dude.
But see, that's the move. You take the one, my dad had one data point about Dylan Earl, and that's that he had covered Clay Pigeons. My dad knows literally nothing else about him. Goes up, then demonstrates his knowledge about the thing he does know.
Yeah.
And then Dylan Earl's like, oh, I like this guy. We can talk. It's the oldest move in the book. Like I always lead. I hear people talking about something and I'll be like, well, if it wasn't for the plate tectonic plates, that probably wouldn't have been an issue, right?
Exactly.
And then they're like, "Oh, he knows," and I'm like, "I'm already tapped out."
Yeah, they're like, "He's an expert." Nope.
Yep. But now I can
quite the contrary.
But then I can just nod along, and go with it, and like, it's a skill I'd picked up along the way, and I loved seeing my dad execute it. He was
awesome.
Like, "I know one data point. I'm going to use it wisely." Boom.
Yeah, you're like, where are you going to play tape? I was like, the car we rode in over here has a tape deck, so we're going to hear it on the way home.
Rode home listening to Dylan Earl.
It's still in there because I ain't got another tape to replace it.
Now, I'm glad you got to go see the Get Tight
$10 for a tape, $35 for an album, for a vinyl. So, which one's better again?
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Why it costs more.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think we're saying the same thing.
All joking aside, can you see tapes coming back?
So their sales have actually been going up, and they are now releasing like boom boxes again.
Dude, it's for real. Like, those things hold a huge value. If you have a legit boombox from the 80s or 90s,
Yep.
They have a value.
Yeah.
A lot of value.
The old ghetto blasters. Like
Yes.
the big ones, you know, like giant.
All the equalizers on them. Take 18 double D batteries or whatever.
Yep. But those are coming back, and they are being made again. So people are starting to make tapes. And now there's like, I'm noticing when I go into the vinyl shops, they have little tape sections. So it's not like fully back, but the hip vinyl places have used cassettes, and people flip through those too.
I loved having cassettes. Like, I had a huge cassette, and I mean, I had a nice stereo with the high speed dubbing, and like I borrowed tapes and recorded tapes all the time. Like, I loved it. So
You're happy
look,
to see it.
Here's the deal. However many years ago, if someone had told you vinyl was going to make this miraculous comeback and sell more than CDs and tapes put together, everyone would have laughed. I mean, it's ludicrous that happened, right? So who's to say that cassettes can't make a comeback?
They're currently doing it. The only thing that's not coming back is CDs.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird because
I just don't think they're going to. They get scratched up and fucked up. So does vinyl. But I don't think CDs are coming back. I think there's something about it's digital, and it's like tapes are analog, records are analog. We have digital perfected.
Well, I was going to say, here's the deal. Like, I loved vinyl. I understand the love for vinyl because I had that as a kid. I was a DJ. I had crates of records. I do appreciate the sound, the imperfection, right?
It's cool.
And cassettes kind of have that too, right? But
they tape hiss.
But to your point, CDs are perfect electronic versions of it.
Perfect.
But that's what streaming is. So what do we need the CDs for?
You don't need the CD.
Yeah.
Like the MP3, CDs are better than MP3 technically, but now they have all these like data log. Now you get like HD streaming, Dolby Atmos streaming. Now they're starting to do the Dolby Atmos where it's like surrounding you with sound, and like you have speakers that can play it, like my Sonos. What? Still crawling out of debt from that mode. But yeah, I don't think CDs are going to come back. I just don't.
No, I don't see them coming back.
Mini disc, maybe.
I'd say 8-tracks will come back first.
I'd like to see reel to reel, but because that'd be the coolest thing.
Not for music.
Just a gigantic reel. What's cooler looking though? If you walk in, you see reel to reel on the wall.
You're like, cool.
It's kind of that's more badass.
I mean,
than vinyl.
that's what tape is.
Yeah,
It's a small reel to reel.
reel to reel though. Yeah, I mean that looks like that's old computing power and stuff.
I remember like I would go buy just 10 packs of like high end tapes back in the day.
The
like,
best.
To like record onto, and like, man, I loved messing with tapes.
It was fun, and you could tape over them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Took that Scotch tape over that little cutout.
Yeah, and you were like, ugh, CDs.
Yeah.
Burn them once, it's over, Johnny.
I tell you, when pirating music though and burning your own CDs came out, that was a game changer.
It was pretty sweet. That's why mini disc should have caught on.
You could put whatever song you wanted on it.
Yeah, but you could re-record on mini disc.
Yeah, but
Lossless.
like
It was perfect.
you could buy a stack of 100 CDs for like $10, where I was paying like $3 and $4 for a good tape.
Yeah, they were expensive.
They were expensive, and I was broke.
Yeah. Dude, we got to have a deli. So if you look inside the box, look at the meta situation. Box on the right,
I got
in the
you.
box.
What's in the box?
In the box is another box, and inside of that box is the Founders All Day West Coast. What?
Product of Michigan. I didn't know Michigan was West Coast.
It's Midwest.
We learned stuff. Midwest Coast.
It's Midwest Coast. So they've
Do you understand that this box is a very light, bright
Nope.
shade of pink?
Nope.
Well, the can is all pink.
Okay. Is that a West Coast thing?
Pink. I think it's a summer thing.
Okay. It looks cool to me.
It does look cool.
All day West Coast.
I think we is it stinky?
Smells potent.
This is 4.7 ABV, 35 IBUs. You bought a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans.
That's right.
Session West Coast style IPA.
Yeah, all I-days have to be. That's why they're all days. They're session.
Oh, all days are sessionable.
Yeah.
You said all IPAs.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All days are sessionable. That's their whole shtick.
I'm back with you.
Okay, so that's an interesting beer. It's definitely got a lot more going on than my
Trying to find something to read on.
my Corona Premier did.
This doesn't have a cute
Doesn't need a cute write-up.
write-up. Come on, man.
It's an all-day West Coast.
What kind of microbrew do you call yourself if you don't have a cute write-up about how your beer has hints of X, Y, and Z in it?
Founders doesn't need that. It's all-day West Coast, man. It's going to be so good. Ish.
I'm kind of scared.
The all-day IPA is always good. Like that's a steady Eddie. And the all-day vacay is phenomenal.
Smells okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell it's an IPA on the nose.
It smells a lot more like an IPA than the all-day IPA does. That all-day IPA is like easy money.
That's a different finish than it's coming on. At first it finished clean. Now it's getting
It's pretty IPA,
it's getting the mouth funk.
but it
as
doesn't hold
sits.
on long. It's just it's there. It's not like Malort. You know what I mean?
I mean, but what is?
Malort.
But we cured Malort.
Kind of. The concrete jungle.
I say we, the royal we.
Yeah. Squeezing lemons.
fix the glitch in that one.
They fixed Malort. I heard another podcast this week. I was listening to Pardon My Take, and they were talking about this one guy. He was like, yeah, so I kept hating Malort. And then everyone kept buying me Malort because they found out I hated it. So they kept buying it for me and buying it for me. He's like, I've developed an affinity for Malort. And I'm like, that's what happens. You keep drinking that crap, and eventually you go, I kind of miss that shitty taste.
Malort's kind of like if you grew up drinking like a real shitty light beer.
Or, people they're like, I prefer RC Cola.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't prefer RC Cola.
Yeah.
It's bad. And they're like, it's all we had, and I now prefer RC Cola.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of get it then.
Yeah, you've tricked yourself into thinking this is the answer.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
It is an interesting beer.
What notes are in it?
It's full IPA. It's a little citrusy,
Little bit, yeah.
but I almost want to say though that the way it bites,
Grapefruity?
yeah, that's probably fair as far as how the citrus presents itself. It's more of a grapefruit than an orange. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely a little citrusy.
A little tangy.
Yeah, it's almost a little peppery in its own weird way.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do that whole West
I don't think I
Coast-
hate it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
I definitely don't love it, but I mean, for the new listeners, the IPA is my least favorite of all the beers.
So to me now, it's gotten to the point, now that I've had 6 swigs, it's mellowed out tremendously, but it leaves just a little IPA funk in the back of my throat that belabors the taste. It doesn't have as much flavor as it should to stink like that in my mouth.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense?
I like the initial hit,
Me too.
but the finish is just too funk.
Yeah, it's that metallic-y
Metallic-y,
West Coast IPA.
coating.
But if the flavor was a little stronger, then I'd be like, okay, I get why this is here. So it's almost like aftertaste for the sake of aftertaste.
You're right. The aftertaste overpowers the taste,
That's the problem.
and that is a problem.
But the taste is okay, and it's really kind of light tasting because it is sessionable.
The light pink can does with the hint of grapefruit and the lightness of it, it does kind of represent that to me.
Now that you say, I didn't pick up on it, but when you said it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. But for me, That's a perfectly acceptable approximation of a West Coast IPA. The aftertaste, though, it shouldn't have that much aftertaste for something that's supposed to be this sessionable.
Yeah.
So I like the front end. Front end's like just over a 3. The back end's just under a 3. It's going to be a 3.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3. I was going to give it a 2.5 because
that's where it's battling between because of that aftertaste.
But you're right. It's a full representation of what it is. So I can't knock it because it's not my taste. So I'll give it a 3 because it's exactly what it is. And it's not offensive.
No, but the aftertaste keeps it from being a winner.
Yes.
Well, that one was easy to dissect.
Well, again, Founders all day. We like them.
Go get the regular Founders All Day IPA. It's a better beer.
Yeah.
And then go get yourself the All Day Vacay if you're looking for a true summer beer. And let the West Coast, All Day West Coast, just kind of be something.
Stay on the West Coast.
Yeah, we're East Coast. We're Nectar.
That's right.
Speaking of, if you want to get a discount on some already reasonably priced sunglasses, head over to nectarsunglasses.com.
Where do you go?
I go to nectarsunglasses.com.
That's where I go.
Yeah.
But they're already cheap. How do you get a better deal?
Well, you put Abacus in the coupon code. And you get 20% off.
20%.
20% off. You don't have to wait for the sale. You have a sale in your back pocket.
All day, every day.
All day.
Yeah.
I actually saw Nectar had a write-up, like a legit write-up, in Southern Living magazine this past week.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a whole write-up about how Sean was out surfing and he saw a bunch of plastic bottles washing up and it pissed him off and he thought there's got to be something better. And now they make all of their sunglasses out of fully recycled plastic.
Wow.
That's kind of their thing. And I guess Southern Living saw that and was like, yeah, we can get behind that. And did a write-up on Nectar sunglasses.
Good work, Sean.
Yeah, well played. Can't be mad at that.
Makes sense, right? Just use the plastic that's already there.
There's a shit ton of plastic ready to go. There's a whole pile of it the size of Texas floating in the ocean. You can just go and just harvest all the plastic
all you
need. Yeah, help yourself. No problem. And what better plastic for sunglasses than the plastic that's already in the ocean?
It's used to being there.
It wants to be back at the ocean.
It needs to be at its home.
That's right. So go hang out at the beach wearing your Nectars. And if you're not, your sunglasses will always feel beachy on account of, the turtle that died with that plastic bottle.
Shame on you, people.
Yes. For not buying Nectars. It's ridiculous. You know what else people spend too much money on?
What?
Yeezys.
Yeah, I don't get... Look, man, I'm the wrong one because I really don't get Yeezys, but I don't get shoe culture. Like, sneakerheads, like, I get liking shoes, and I get liking nice shoes, and I get... some of them are cool looking. I get all that. But when you start getting like over a couple $100 for a pair of shoes, like now you're really just like, what are we doing here?
Oh no, shoe culture's always been a thing though. Ever since Jordan, really. I mean, that's where that was the genesis of true shoe culture. But you could go back even before that.
PF Flyers. Converse.
I mean, that was the good stuff. So I get shoe culture. I'm finding myself gravitating more and more towards it, actually. But I like to wear my shoes is my problem.
That's my thing.
I don't want to buy them and put them in a box.
And I don't want to have to watch every step I take in them.
No.
Like, I don't want to put a $400 pair of Jordans on and be like, not bending my feet and like...
Well, you got to put those little...
crease preventer things in them.
Crease preventers in your shoe.
My kids told me about that. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
My daughters busted my balls the other day because I was wearing I have Vans that kind of look like Jordans.
Yeah.
And I was like wearing them around and they were like, oh, you're getting creases, Dad. You can't have that. And I was like, creases? They were like, yeah, you don't put crease protectors in your shoe? I had no idea.
No, I like my toes to bend when I walk.
I get when my shoes look dirty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. Now they become gym shoes.
Yeah.
Like that's
grass cutting shoes.
Yeah, they just slowly, but there's a hierarchy.
Yes.
New shoes you wear out, and then once they start Once you screw up and you walk around the wrong place or the rainy day, and then you're like, all right, now they're moving down.
I finally bought a pair of Air Maxes. I've always wanted a pair, but they're like $150.
Great shoe.
I found one for like $68, I think is what I paid at that Dick's Going Gone store. And they're like all white with some gray and black in them.
Perfect.
They're so pretty. I've worn them once, and I've had them like 3-4 months now. Like,
so there is a part of you deep down in there that gets shoe culture.
Yes. No, I get it. But that's why I can't, like, so now I don't get to wear the shoes I want to wear because I know as soon as I step out the front door, I've scuffed them. I've walked through something. You know, like I inevitably get my shit dirty. Like, it's just who I am.
That's, yeah.
Especially shoes. They are literally touching the dirtiest parts of everything all the time.
They're on your feet.
Dude, even if you were in a sterile environment, my feet get gross.
Actually, name an article of clothing that you don't fuck up. I fuck up shirts, pants.
Oh, yeah.
Shoes, gloves.
Yep.
Hats. Oh.
Yeah.
I got a hat I like so much that I bought the same hat. It's from the Vortex Burger Bar in Atlanta. Love that bar. Love that hat. And my hat started getting all dirty and grimy. So I went and bought the exact same hat last time I was in Atlanta. And I keep that one like
tucked away.
Yeah. And I wear it when I'm going out. I'll put on that one. And then when I'm mowing the lawn or going to the gym, I wear the other one. And then the other day, I went looking around. I was like, there's that dirty old hat. I threw on the brand new one, mowed the lawn, and then started weed whacking and knocking down stuff.
Oh, man.
And I came in, I was covered in just dirt.
Yeah,
crap.
dust, pollen.
And I took off my hat and I put it down, and then I saw the dirty one, and I was like, no.
Yep.
I'm going to have to get a third Vortex hat.
I get the sweat lines that like...
It has a sweat line now.
Works all the way up.
Yeah.
After enough time's passed.
Actually, that's the only way to salvage it is to let the sweat line go up. It's only when it's that first inch you're like, it looks horrible. Then you just got to ride it.
Yep.
But yeah, now I screwed it up, so I got to buy that hat again.
But
you understand hat culture.
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of hats.
So it's interesting that you.
But I also wear them. Like I wear all my hats.
Okay, well, all right. So to the Yezzy, right? Like those shoes were going for what? $500.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous,
ludicrous.
Yeah.
And they're ugly as sin.
Oh, ugly. Just like, god awful.
No worse shoe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Never understood the whole Yezzy phenomenon. But so...
Other than... what's his real name? Was attached to it. Who's Yezzy?
Kanye.
Kanye West. Like, it was his shoe. So you understand, like, the famous person has said it, has blessed it as the it thing. So,
but then Kanye... completely became an anti-Semite.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff.
But the anti-Semitism was probably that was the big one. That was the one no one could look past when he was living in Mercedes Stadium, and like people were like, he's eccentric.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Weird. He's showing up at the Met Gala in a Dickies jacket. You're like, well, he knows stuff we don't know. He's
exactly.
Brilliant. He's brilliant. Then he starts saying all kinds of anti-Semitic stuff, and you're like, all right, you got to slow this down. And then he's like,
what year is
no.
this?
he's like, no, I'm going to double down.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right.
Maybe you didn't hear me correctly.
Like, that's not great. And then, Adidas, a German company.
Yeah.
Founded by Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day. Like, not a great Adidas.
Yeah.
Then they didn't immediately, like, denounce him.
Yeah, they were like,
They were like, well... let's see where he's going with this.
They're like, Kanye's spitting right now.
Yeah, let's see what he's going with this. So they held on a little longer than they should have. Everyone else dropped him, and Adidas still was quiet. So it was a bad look for this German company to kind of even hold on to him. Then they finally caved, but they caved. They didn't get out in front of it, which I think would have been the right move considering who they are. So they took forever to cave. Now they're stuck with all these Yeezys from 2022. Plus, they'd already made the 23 Yeezys.
Oh, snap.
So they have all this money invested. Their shares go down. Everything's
Are they selling them?
So they took them off the market. They weren't selling them.
All right. Well, now it's a commodity.
So now they're back all of a sudden.
Oh.
So now these guys are like, all right, we're putting them out there, but we're going to give a portion of the profits to an anti-defamation league.
Yeah.
Like we give a little bit of the money over here, an undisclosed amount going to them. So this could be 1%.
Yeah.
You know,
Or less.
Yeah, it could be something ridiculous. But now this German company is going to actually find a way to kind of profit on it.
Yes.
So now they're selling it. They're selling the Yeezys to other anti-Semites.
Are they still super expensive?
Oh, yeah.
Have the anti-Semites bought into this yet?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, when does it become...
Yeah, like, are the American History X dudes, like, rocking Yeezys now?
That's what I'm wondering. Like a bunch of Klansmen walking around in fucking Yeezys.
Yeah.
Only the all-white ones.
Like, you go down...
like, what is...
Yeah, you go down to, like, Alabama or Arkansas, and everybody's just rocking Yeezys down there.
Yeah, they got their stars and bars flying. They got their Yeezys on. Like, it's very interesting. But I was like, Adidas, you had an opportunity here where you're like, okay, we need to, like... You should come out and say we're literally only going to sell them for what it costs us to make them and all the rest goes, but it's an undisclosed amount. They've got to right this ship. Like, I feel like this is yet another.
You could even go so far as to be like, we're giving 50% of all sales because they're marked up well over 50%. So like Adidas would still look good and still make a profit. So it'd be like, okay, it's kind of like the whole Bombas does it, where it's like, you buy a pair of our socks and we give a pair, and they look like they're damn heroes, and you're buying a pair of $50 socks.
But that's the kick in the ass. Like, every time I look at it, I was like, could I get the ones that you don't give to homeless people? Like, because I'd like to pay $10 for these socks.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a piece of shit.
Well, I mean, you're like, I want it. I like the premise, right? But I can't take the hit on a pair of socks.
But don't you ever wonder when you see that, you're like, how much are you marking up my sock in order to make it?
100%.
No, you got to mark it up 200%.
No, you. The 100% was when you were saying, "Don't."
Oh, you're agreeing.
Don't you think of this? 100% of the time, that's what I'm thinking. Like Tom's did it with their ugly ass slipper shoe. They were like, "We'll give a pair of shoes." I'm like, that shoe probably cost you $2.25 to make. You're selling it for $75, and you're a hero because you're giving away another $2.25. Like,
all it makes me think is how much profit is in these socks.
Yes.
I'm like, this is insane that you can actually sell 2 pairs.
How about I go buy 2 packs of Hanes socks for $6 each and give that away to somebody?
What if they send me something, and then when I send them the Hanes socks to give to the homeless people, they
sell me your socks at cost, and then I'll give you a 6-pack of Hanes.
I'd be willing to do that.
Yes.
You ever worn a Bomba sock?
No, because
Dude, it's the most comfortable damn sock.
I've heard that.
It is.
But so's Tommy John. And I still think Pair of Thieves is just as good. Like,
so I've rocked Tommy Johns and I've rocked Pair of Thieves, and like, I think there's a difference, not by much. It's literally
I can see there's a difference.
It's just the horizontal hole in the Tommy John. The fact
that
I can put my hand down and pull my dong out, that's like great.
To me, the vertical one isn't too bad because I've grown up with it, and that's the way your fly is situated. So I understand that. But like, when you're just wandering around the house or in your sweats, the horizontal one is dope.
It makes all some sense.
But to me, the main difference is, yes, there's a difference, and I will concede Tommy John is a more comfortable and softer pair of underwear, but they don't last as long. And they don't, the price difference in there, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay. And I wear Tommy John because I ask every Christmas, I just go, everyone just get me Tommy John.
Yeah.
I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But I like them. But the Bombas, I'm telling you, you go get the next best pair of sock and go get some Bombas, I bet you feel a difference.
Oh, I'm not here to argue that. But my point is, I can't pay $15 for one pair of socks. Like,
no, but they're super comfy.
That's not who I am.
They make your basic shoes feel like, okay, this is pretty good. So like, I get that, but I'm still like, damn, I'm buying 2 pairs of socks right now, and I'm paying an exorbitant amount of money.
Yeah.
So much profit in there.
Well, it's like when we got into the Tommy John thing, and then like they do the shirts and stuff too. It's like, I'm going to be out hundreds of dollars just replacing my my undershirts and my underwear. Like,
I haven't been able to cross that bridge.
And by the way, yeah, it's comfy, but it ain't like a nice shirt that everyone gets to see.
It's a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not, like even your underwear. Like I'm paying as much. I could get Lucky Jeans for almost what I can get a pair of underwear for, and at least people see them and they fit me well and they make me look good. Like
I'll give you that.
The Tommy Johns are like, yeah, they're comfy, but what?
I find myself walking around the house in my underwear a lot more.
Yeah,
just so I can show them off.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if you noticed my ass. Yeah, I'm in these Tommy Johns. But the Yeezys, like they had a chance. Adidas had a chance to get out and really make themselves look good. And yet again, they've bobbled.
They dropped the ball.
They bobbled it again. I'm just like, how much are you really giving? Or are you just doing a profit grab here?
Do you think they just don't even give a shit?
I just think that
they're like so many people like Yeezys. They're just going to buy them, and we're just going to take the hit. And then the next company will make a fuck up, and then they'll be in the news because the news cycle's 24/7, 365.
Maybe that's what they're banking on. But I feel like their emotional IQ is very low.
Well, I mean,
they're not reading the room.
Yeah.
And now they're releasing them. They're still charging a ton of money. It's an undisclosed amount they're handing over. Like,
I'll always think, my mind always goes when corporations do this, I go, this isn't one person. Like a lot of eyes and ears saw this and heard this pitch, and it got passed around, and people were like, yeah, we should do that.
Imagine the publicity hit they would get if they were like 100% of the money. Just 100%.
God, yeah.
Like we're going to put all of it directly into these anti-defamation
Yeah.
funds. Like we're gonna help people out.
Yeah.
Because
we're giving it to all these Jewish organizations.
Yeah, like we're going to take care of
Holocaust museums. We're going to give,
because we recognize that our history is kind of spotty. From back in the day.
They could even take the hit. Like he would, yeah. Yezzy said it. He's not representing us, but we, since we're representing him, we're going to do the right thing and try to make it right.
And they had a huge opportunity to do all right, but instead, what they're doing is they're putting a bunch of sneakers out into the marketplace that clearly have some anti-Semitic, beliefs behind them. And then they have the 23s that are coming out. So they're gonna get to release those.
Well, how many people are going to buy them and not even wear them? Like literally collector's items.
And so I think that's who they're going to have to go after, right?
Like, I got my new 23 Yeezys now with more anti-Semitism.
I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like I think they fucked up. I think they fucked up a lot, and it just bugs me. I'm like, you should have either just burned them, just accepted your losses, put all the profit or put all the money in.
And to go back to the original guy, Jordan, what's he done so well since day one of his sneakers, and why they're the greatest sneaker that ever sneaked and made the most money of all the sneakers? That dude keeps his political mouth shut.
Always.
The worst thing he's ever said is Republicans buy sneakers too, meaning I ain't getting into
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that got spun on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I still don't think you heard what I was saying. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
I want everyone to buy my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good stance.
Dad bods, buy my shit.
Yeah.
Young urban guys, buy my shit.
I think
grandmas rock my shit. Like, I don't care.
It can be looked at very poorly that Adidas is even putting these out there at all, regardless of where the money goes.
For sure.
Like that's a bad look.
The only way is your way.
100%.
Yeah.
Everything. Boom.
Yeah.
Shipping, we got to pay FedEx, but everything else.
Yeah.
Like,
or they could take a hit, because they could take a hit, right? I mean, these corporations could take a hit.
They already took the hit. They made the damn shoes.
Yeah.
They already exist. The money's gone. It's sunk cost.
Yeah. Bless you.
Thank you.
All right, that's enough.
I'm just allergic to
anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it bothers me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It pissed me off.
It's pretty gross, but it's also not surprising, right?
No.
I mean,
it's not.
If any of us thinks any major corporation cares anything about anything other than the bottom line, you are lying to yourself.
You're not paying
and this
attention.
goes back to Toms and Bombas. Like, they're doing this because they're still making plenty of profit. Yes, they're doing a nice thing. I'm not going to knock them for that. But they're still making plenty of profits. And they're actually, by doing their nice thing, their altruistic thing, it's creating more profits for them. So it's kind of like, what's your real reasoning here? Do you really care about these things, or are you just doing it for profit?
You're just trying to find a way.
But that's what capitalism is, and I'm pro-capitalism, so I can't get mad at them.
It's tough, isn't it?
I mean, again, just I'm not going to buy them, but I wasn't going to buy them anyway.
Nope.
I mean,
you want to talk positive?
yeah,
more positive.
Let's
story.
go positive.
We got invited to our boy Dave's party the other night.
Dave.
Listener.
Oh,
I don't want to say his last name.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw his last name.
That was like 2 or 3 episodes ago, so I was a little confused.
we haven't talked about it.
Okay, yeah. We haven't. You're right.
We got invited over to that party.
Dude, that was a hell of a party.
Hell of a party.
Hell of a house.
And so you drove over there because you can drive.
So we got invited. It was like last second. Stu invited us, and it was late night, and I already had plans. So, but of course, who has plans after 10, 11 o'clock anyway? So I was like, well, shit, I'm going to be up. I might as well ride over there. They were nice enough to invite me. Dave and his wife are listeners. I've been to a party with them before, and they're super cool. So I was like, shit, I'll go over there.
And you offered to pick me up.
And you were busy.
Well, I totally, I just missed all that. Like all those times you reached out to me, I literally just missed it.
Oh, okay. I thought we had talked about.
We talked early, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, all right, cool. Let me know. And then by the time I saw that you had reached out to me, you were already there.
Yeah. I think I got there at like 10 o'clock.
So I was on that particular day. I was on my 4th drink session of the day. Like
No, you were on your 3rd, I think.
All I know is
you had your 4th over there
is that what, all right? Yeah,
because you
I
had
remember,
brunch.
No, I had. So the workday ended, and I decided my wife was out with the kids.
Was this not a?
It was a Friday night.
Oh, I thought it was a Saturday. It was a Friday night.
So my wife goes out with the kids, and so I'm stuck at home by myself.
That's right.
So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink bourbon and listen to records.
The best music
As a grown up.
Yeah.
So I sit there and drink bourbon. My wife shows up, and then she's like, hey, we should go out to dinner because the kids are going over here. So I was like, oh, cool. So the kids were like off. I was like, great. So we go out to dinner and have a couple of mixed drinks, and then decide let's split a bottle of wine. So then I have a whole nother session of drinking. So then we go home, and she's like, hey, let's crack this good bottle of wine. And it's somewhere in here that I just missed all the texts that were happening because I had just taken the phone out of my pocket. It was like,
yeah,
I'm not doing anything but just being drunker.
And it's Friday night and you're in.
Yeah. So I'm in. So I drink another bottle of wine with her, and then I'm having a couple beers, and then she's going to bed, and I look and I'm like, oh crap. Troy went to the party. Like, I want to go to the party. Like, I want to get over there. And I'm like, how am I going to get there?
Yeah, because I had like Marco Polo'd you earlier being like, hey, I think I might go to this party. And then like when I left at like 9:30, I'll hit you up again. I was like, hey, I'm headed over there. If you want to ride, now's the time.
Yep. Just missed it because I was trying to hang with the wife, you know? And in my mind, I was like, when she goes to bed, then I'll see where Troy is. But I'm going to this party. Didn't occur to me it would be like late that she went to bed.
Because that was a late night for her.
For her, yeah. So I was like, I've got it. Middle of the night electric skateboard.
Yeah, so you finally, like, I literally was walking into the party and you respond. You're like, hey, man, wife's in bed. I'm ready to party. I was like, dude, I'm just walking in this thing. And you're like, all right, I think I might skateboard over there.
I think we calculated that it was about a 6-mile ride.
6 or 7 miles. Like, if you follow the roads that, like, the map gives you the direct route, so like you would be on main roads. So like,
which I can't do.
You couldn't do that because you went like the back way,
which did involve some main roads. So I'm out there. I've got a backpack cooler on.
I want to say you left at like 11 o'clock, 11:15. So it was late. Like it was close to midnight when you decided to head out.
It's probably a ride I shouldn't have made.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'm out there on main roads.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking, I've got like backpack on, headphones in, because, I don't want to have to hear cars That's distracting.
I don't see how you can do that. Like, I tried snowboarding once with earbuds in, and not hearing the air and the sound of my board, like, was such a distraction to me.
I find all of those safety sounds very distracting. You know, like,
yeah, but you can gather a lot of intel from the sound
100%.
of the what kind of asphalt you're on, hitting the wheels, like
100%.
how much airflow is going by you. Like, you can, you
Totally agree.
Okay.
But you never can hear the music.
if you don't have your earbuds in.
See, so you get it. So I just remember I'm barreling down like the road, and I'm like on the main road. I'm flying along, and I'm thinking, man, I can't believe I'm doing
He's on a
this.
2-lane road that's like a main cut through a major neighborhood. That's, I think it's 35 and or 45 in that area.
Yeah. I got electric skateboard.
So you were under the speed limit, but you were getting close.
But I was, I'm like, I'm moving with geriatric traffic.
Yeah.
So I just got it, and then I like turned off the road. And then the beauty of the headphones in also is I've got them hooked up to maps.
Oh yeah. So that did.
So
that
like
was,
as I'm rocking, I'm just blasting down these roads, and then it's like, in 500 feet, turn right. And you're like, you're damn right I'm going to turn right.
And on the skateboard, you're not going to shoot past it like you would in your car.
No, 500 feet takes a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can get that thing up to damn near 30 miles an hour.
You said you were on the way, and I turned to Stu. I was like, this motherfucker is going to ride his electric skateboard. I was like, it's going to take him an hour. Like, I looked it up. It was like 7 miles. I was like, it's going to take him forever.
I was there in no time.
I put my phone in my pocket, and I turned around, and you were there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I was like, what?
It was wild how fast I got there and how bumpy some of those roads get.
You think?
Yeah.
On an electric skateboard? And can't handle it?
We handled it just fine, apparently. You see, the person on the skateboard really, I was putting a lot of balance into that. Laser focus.
It's the skill.
I think so.
Yeah.
Little tiny headlights that I have on it. I
Look,
can see 5 feet in front of me.
I'm honestly going to not disagree with that because I would eat shit immediately on that thing.
I felt pretty good, but I remember when we left there, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. And you were still there. I was like, oh, thank God.
Oh, dude, when you showed up, I was about to walk out because I literally knew Stu, his girlfriend, Dave and his wife, Joy, and that's who I knew. And I was talking to people and everybody was nice and everything, but like I didn't know anybody in this place. So I was like going to walk out and you're like, I'm heading over. And I was like, all right. And then once you got there, my mind went from, I got to get this one home because
I'm glad your mind went there.
I can't have you riding that skateboard home. Like, you shouldn't have ridden it over.
I did.
Because you're like, hey, it's safer than driving. I'm like, safer in that what? Like, you could still injure yourself greatly. You could still cause an accident.
I was wearing a helmet.
You could probably still get a DUI.
I was wearing a helmet.
You were that helmet's going to look cute through the windshield of a car.
When the cop pulls me over, he's like, how much you've had to drink? And I say, sir, I'm wearing a helmet.
Don't mind my backpack full of alcoholic beverages.
Full of alcoholic beverages. I mean, I was weighed down. Like, it took me till the end of my street just to get the balance right.
Oh, I'm sure.
Everything was leaning back.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to fall backwards. And I was like, all right, I just got to kind of like
lean more
hunchback
forward.
in Notre Dame this bitch. And then put it in sport mode instead of turbo. But that was my logic.
Yeah.
We're only going sport, man. We're not going turbo.
Keeping it safe. How about Dave, though? Had all those Jeeps, had all kinds of toys, man. Like, it was awesome.
That dude's like, it's like Toys R Us for adults.
Yeah.
His house is all right.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
It was awesome. It was a good time. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out because we were talking with my dad last week. We didn't talk about it, but reality is that was a hell of a party, and I made it, and I didn't die, which I bet if people,
I was thankful. I was quite thankful.
People were passing money back. They lost their bets.
That's right. But you were like, hey, we went to our boys' party the other day. Yeah. And we did. But you didn't say the name I thought you were going to say.
Well, I don't want to say his last name.
I know, but I thought you were going with the Duke.
Oh, that party was
we went to that party together.
So that party, we cooked a whole hog.
Yeah, old school.
So I didn't know this. So the Duke has a kid in high school who just graduated. He's got another one graduates in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he graduated and he wanted to have a graduation party, and he wanted to do a whole hog, which is quite the endeavor.
Yes.
And they wanted to do it old school.
Yeah.
Like just using wood, no gas, no nothing, no charcoal even. They're like, we don't even want to use charcoal. Like we just want embers from. So we were like, all right. And they were like, we understand how to do this. We've got this under control. And the other kid who was hosting
it's a huge thing that is easily fuck upable.
Yeah. And so they drove over like this big giant barbecue pit and dropped it off and like dropped off a hog.
Yeah.
Like,
it was one of those like smokers with where the whole top lifts off and it's on the wheels. You tow it behind your car. It's like legit.
Yeah. So they dropped it off and they were like, all right.
We out.
We're gone.
Yeah.
And the Duke's like, I thought they were like going to bring like the hog like smoked.
Yeah. Oh, he thought, oh shit, I didn't know that.
So we didn't know that until like 24 hours before that all of a sudden it came to light that, okay, no, it's getting smoked at your house. Originally, at least I was under the assumption, the way it had been described to me, that they were just bringing the hog.
They were going to bring it and or cook it and or have it cooked.
So I thought, easy money.
That's the way to do it. I mean, honestly.
So when he hits me up and he's like, hey man, they're bringing over the smoker, so we're smoking it here. And I was like, all right, cool. How you doing it? You got like a burn pit, got all these things.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have any of that stuff. He's like, I don't even know how we're going to do this. And so we had like 24 hours to come up with a full plan. The hog was purchased and the smoker was dropped off, but like next steps were up in the air.
Did you have the wood?
He had a shit ton of oak in his backyard, so that was good.
Yeah.
But we had to figure out how to do it. So like we're making it up.
And every time, like, there's a million different ways to do it. And it's not like every smoker's the same either, right? Like, so you need some reps on your smoker so you know, like, oh, this one's got hot spots or it takes this long to heat up. And like,
to say the least,
you guys are jumping in blind. I mean, you have the like top notch stuff where
but that's a pellet smoker,
but it's hard to dial those in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just like a pork shoulder.
Yeah. Not like 250 pounds of
here's the ribs.
Entire hog.
Yeah, with the head on and everything.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh damn it. So we tried to like build a burn barrel. Fail. Like we spent all day drilling holes in an old chimenea, putting rebar in it so that you could feed the top with logs and the embers would fall through, and then we'd create
scoop the embers,
throw it in the pit. We were like, all right, we got a plan. None of that shit worked.
Damn.
The thing we built all day long was a total mess. We'd been driving around getting like cinder blocks and things to put down. Like, so we did 100 things wrong.
Yeah.
And the guy brought over like a cheap fire pit that was just a bowl. It's just a bowl.
Yeah.
We were like, what are we going to do with that? So what we ended up having to do, we took a solo stove and we just fired that bitch up. Got it going 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Big old solo stove, the full size. So had that going, and then we would just take the logs out of the solo stove and throw them into that like just bowl.
Uh-huh.
And then those would be burning over there, and we keep feeding the solo stove. And then basically we take a shovel
and break it up,
smash the logs that were in the bowl.
Yeah.
So it would go down to like embers.
Oh, well, don't forget the little part about your smoker was a fucking redneck fucking engineering.
It was literally an oil tank from a heating oil tank from someone's house.
Yeah. That was cut in half and hinged and had a tiny little burn box access, and like the grate wasn't flush with the lip of it. So like you could slide the grate out, but it wasn't like on rollers or anything. Like it wasn't easily accessible.
No, it was, the whole thing was very difficult to understand.
Yeah. The burn box was only on one side. So you had to like try to shove the embers all the way through the thing.
So we got kids showing up, like high school kids showing up to like help out.
Because y'all started like late night.
Yeah, so I go over to the Duke's house at like 11. My wife goes to sleep, and I'm like, you got that fire rolling? He's like, no, I don't know when. I was like, start it now.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? So go over there at 11 o'clock. I was there till 3:30 in the morning.
Dude, I bet y'all were sweating it.
Dude, it was crazy. And we still couldn't figure out how to pull the pig out and flip it and do all that. But like high school kids kept showing up. Imagine their disappointment When they're thinking we got a graduation party tomorrow and we got an all-night smoke.
Yeah.
We're going to be drinking beers, hanging out, doing our thing. And they show up and there's two old guys going,
Get
"All
to
right,
work."
knock this down, move this. And like, we just trained them.
Yeah.
We trained them till 3:30 in the morning until I had the smoker rolling nice. They had kids driving in from like kids who are in college, like coming in from William and Mary. Like, I think they expected there to be a party there. Mm-hmm. And what they found was old guys chaperoning,
Working.
and they couldn't even break out their beers.
Yeah.
I remember the Duke said this one kid pulls up. It's like 2 something in the morning. And he comes walking in. He just drove in from William and Mary. And he comes walking up. And the Duke goes, "Hey, can I get you a drink?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome." And he's like, "I got water, soda, and seltzer water."
OJ, Sunny D, purple
Yeah.
stuff.
This kid's face was like,
Oh, God.
like, he was so disappointed. And I was like, that's hilarious. And then, but we just kept working that fire pit till it stayed at 250. And once we finally had it at 250, I was like, it sat there for like 30 minutes. Like, I dialed in all the things. I'd explained it to the kids. I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to let these kids
Earn their keep.
crack the beers that they got hidden
Yeah.
in the car, you know? And the Duke's like, "This is some manly shit. I'm staying up all night." And I was like, they hate you.
Yeah.
It's like, but this pig will be okay. So I left.
Oh,
at
because they weren't
3:30.
going to drink in front of him.
No. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not playing. Like, you
Yeah.
can't have kids over here drinking and driving
Yeah.
out of here. Like, we were trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
So we were kind of playing chaperone. Like, nah, sorry, dude.
Y'all
You
were
guys get
drinking.
fucking hammered. Like, drinking in front of them.
Yeah.
And so I had a cooler by my side.
Nice.
But I was like, I've been legal longer than I haven't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drink.
Wait, you're 42?
I'm that old.
Oh, my God.
It's gross, right?
I didn't think you were that old.
Gross.
You look a day over 32.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell that to fucking Jay making fun of my hair. You think that straw hasn't stuck in my side? Every single day I'm combing my hair going, "Jay said I didn't have good hair." Still breaks my heart. He thinks it don't bother me. I'm not kidding. Every day I'm like, "It's good hair."
If I say it enough, I'll believe it.
Yeah, exactly. I click my heels 3 times.
Yeah.
I wish I had my hair. I wish I had my hair. But yeah, so we did it. And the Duke stayed up till like 5 something in the morning with those kids. And then finally he went to bed. And then it was like he came out at like 9 something in the morning. That pig was done.
Dude, here's what I know of cooking a whole pig. Our fraternity used to do it, and the guys would show up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it'd be done at 6 at night. It was all day. It was a 12-hour event, and they drank the entire time. So the fact that y'all got it done that quickly was kind of impressive. And I was like,
But it also means the thermometer wasn't right.
well, and it also meant you started early because you didn't need to start.
We didn't have that pig on until like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but still, if you started at 6 or 7 in the morning, it would have been done at 4 or 5. Even at a speedy cook.
Yeah, using
Yeah.
the thermometer that we had.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we cooked it a little faster than we wanted to. But hey,
It was delicious.
it got done. It fed a huge group of people. It looked cool.
Yeah. Great
So
party.
We pulled it off, but like I did not anticipate that I was going to be up.
I hope you don't ever attempt to use that shitty smoker again.
The Duke now has like, it's like the Duke's going to be chasing that dragon forever.
Yeah, oh,
'Cause
yeah.
He's like, "I'm getting a smoker. We're doing full pigs. Like, we got
Yeah.
to get this right. Dial it in." I'm like, all right. Like, and I understand it. Like,
Look.
we felt like we were like working in a coal mine. Like,
Full pigs are cool,
it's cool.
but just get the shoulders and the butts and just, there's no need.
But I'm sure you save money. You buy a whole pig.
I guess. I don't know. I don't buy any of these things, but it's easier with the smaller grill, a smaller smoker where you can dial it in.
Yeah. Do 6 or 8 hours, dial it in.
And he was like literally calling people to get them to come over and eat because he had too much.
It's a great problem. Great problem. But that was fun, though. There's something manly about cooking a whole pig.
We left the party. I had my whole family. We left the party, and so I asked somebody, or one of the kids asked me, or something. Wife asked me, like, "How was the pig?" Because she didn't go near it,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Well, it was made by a bunch of drunks in the middle of the night.
"Well,"
Yeah.
and most meat eaters don't want to actually see the face of the animal they're eating, so I understand that. But, everybody had picked it and chopped it and taken it inside, so you didn't have to go near it. But they were like, I think she was like, how was the pig? And I was like, I thought it was good. Brendan said it wasn't good, but I thought it was good.
I mean, I thought it was good, but there were parts that weren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It didn't cook.
It wasn't
perfectly.
evenly.
Yeah. But I was like, it was fine. I put some of the mop on it that y'all made, and it was delicious. And my youngest son goes, I didn't have any. And my wife looks at him, and I look at him. She was like, that barbecue sandwich you ate when you first walked in? That was the pig.
That's hilarious. Seriously.
So he didn't go over to the pig and like physically take any meat off of it. So he was like, I'm in the clear. And then he was like,
I love that. That's hilarious.
And he's like, oh. Like, it didn't bother him, but like he didn't piece it together that like the barbecue he was eating. He's like, oh, that was pig. Like, yes.
I love that. People don't realize what they eat.
Why would an 11-year-old know that the chopped up barbecue in the bin inside was off the pig,
There's just nothing more American than that.
Yeah.
Than thinking, no, this meat just magically appeared.
Well, if you think about it from a kid's perspective, like, so ham is pig, barbecue's pig, bacon's pig. Like, all these things are the same variation of a delicious animal. Like, wait, what?
Well, that's what Homer said. He's like, don't tell me that bacon and barbecue and ribs all come from one magical animal.
He's like, oh, there's one magical animal that can produce ribs and bacon. And like, yes, exactly. I mean, because chicken's chicken.
Yeah, no matter how
you can fry it and you can grill it. Like,
it's chicken.
It's chicken.
Yeah. No, pork does it all.
Beef is weird like pork. There's different ways to do it and different styles of it. But like, you're eating chicken when you're eating chicken.
Oh, here we go. So I'm at this critical moment right here in the finals game where I could still cover the spread. Nope. It just went out of bounds.
Oh, that second half went quickly.
Yeah, it did. But they just cost me the spread right there.
Oh, because they're not getting another shot off?
No. But if that last dude down the court...
So what was the spread? 9?
9.
And they're losing by 11 right now.
Yeah, but if they had just put up the 3 and put it in, then they still would have held the ball. I would have covered. Oh, boy.
How good... I mean, real quick...
Oh, we've talked about... Yeah.
I mean...
The lines are...
How do they know that? How do they know that?
They don't, though. They literally they put a line out there that they think
hit
is
more often than not.
Yeah, but then when the bets come in, it moves.
Yes.
But that number they start with is usually pretty
spot
accurate.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the betting public is what changes it to be off.
Yeah,
because we're the plebes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They're gonna get theirs.
Yeah, it's wild. By the time this comes out, we'll know the fate of multiple NBA Finals games and the NHL Finals.
Spoiler alert, Denver won game 1.
Yeah, that's not going to be much of a spoiler. At the rate I'm going, this could come out next Friday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a hard time putting these things out now that I'm down a computer. Because I know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When I work on that computer, I know that it's an hour. Like, even if I don't edit anything, it's like just slow and low. Hey, but this is what we do for the people, right?
For the people.
That's right. So allow us to say thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. If you get a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, it's real easy. Just grab their phone, sign them up for the podcast. That does wonders for our numbers because then they start listening, then they Cincinnati swap somebody. It's kind of a snowball effect. But since we don't do a lot of advertising, none.
Yeah.
That is our best advertising, word of mouth. So at a minimum, tell somebody what you're listening to. If you want to rate and review, we'll always take that. And you can always send us topics at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. And then we'll talk about it, tell you what we think of it.
Yeah.
We already gave a Nectar plug, but you can still drop Abacus in the coupon code, get 20% off. If you need a mortgage, head over to screendoormortgage.com.
Yeah.
They'll take care of you. And then what
you want
else
to send us money?
Oh, yeah, the Venmo. What is the Venmo?
At Inside the Pallet House on Venmo.
That's a super easy to remember.
It is.
Venmo.
It makes donating to us easy.
Super simple. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?